Salvete! Hello everybody, welcome to another video. This is Latin with Stephen. I hope you're well today. And I have for you today another intermediate reading text, intermediate Latin, which is to say for those of you who have already mastered the basic declensions and conjugations and have some knowledge of basic Latin syntax, and you're really looking to get your teeth into a bit of reading. So today's text is Hercules and Cacus. From Greek mythology. So one of the many challenges, adventures of Hercules. So this text is fairly short, and we'll look at it in chunks. So just like if you watched the first one, I'll show you a few lines at a time. You can pause it to see if you can translate, and then unpause it, and I will go through it line by line, and then we'll move on to the next section. So you'll have to do a little bit of pausing and do see if you can work them out, and then I'll do my best to explain how it works. So first section then, without further ado, Hercules and Cacus. Should be coming on the screen now if you want to pause that. Erat olim in Italia monstrum horrendum Cacus, oculos saevos habebat, flammas spirabat, in spelunca habitabat, peragros saeperabat et finitimos crudelita vexabat. My goodness. Right, what have we got? Imperfect tense. Erat, there was. Once, olim, once upon a time, at a time in the past, in Italy, a horrible, fearful monster, Cacus, it's his name, called Cacus. Habebat, imperfect tense, he had. Oculos saevos, accusative, savage, fierce eyes, fierce looking eyes. Spirabat, he breathed, flames. In spelunca, ablative, place where, in a cave, habitabat, he lived. He used to live at that time, that's why it's imperfect. We're not talking about a specific action here. It's a general ongoing situation. Per agros saeperabat, imperfect. Errare, to wander, to stray. That's where we get the word error from. If you are erroneous, you've strayed, you've wandered from the truth, from the correction, for the correct answer. So that's an error, isn't it? But in this sense, just to wander. He would wander, he would walk, stray, per, through the fields, often. And find the verb, vexabat, he would vex, harass, torment, distress. Finitimos, the neighbours, the neighbouring peoples, accusative. Crudeliter, adverb, cruelly, in a cruel fashion, he would harass the neighbouring people. Alright, so fairly straightforward, I think that one. A few imperfects, got a few accusative objects, finitimos, oculos saevos. Observe how they're all in agreement. And let's move on to the next section. Okay, pause it when it appears to you guys to see if you can work it out. Alright, let's have a read. Incolai diu timebant cacum, nemo tamen necavit, nemo etiam opugnaverat, tandem Hercules deus ad Italiam commeavit, multos tauros habebat. Right, incolai. Well, you can see we have a plural verb, timebant, feared, we're afraid of. Incolai are the inhabitants, the people who live in a place. It's a first declension noun. It ends in a, incola, but it would be considered masculine. So incolai, the inhabitants. Diu, for a long time, duration. For a long time feared, Cacus, accusative. Nemo, nobody, however, necavit, killed. We've not got the explicit direct object here, but of course it's Cacus. Nobody killed him. Nemo etiam opugnaverat. Nobody etiam even. Nobody even had attacked him. That's a pluperfect. Erat. Opugnare, to attack. Linked to the verb pugnare, to fight. And pugnos, the fist. Nobody, however, killed Cacus. Nobody had even attacked him. Tandem, at last, finally, Hercules, the god Deus, That's a noun in apposition. You get two nouns next to each other. You've got the name and then you've got what he is, who he is. He's a god. Or a demigod, wasn't he, actually? So, Hercules the god. Ad Italiam, accusative. To Italy come avit. He journeyed. He came, essentially, to Italy. Multos tauros habebat. He had, at that time, many tauros, many bulls. Alright. Okay, so again, I think fairly straightforward. That one, any questions as you're going along, you can always pop them in the comments, guys, and I'll do my best to answer. Without further ado, let me show you the next part and pause it. Alright. Cacus aliquot tauros in speluncam caudis tractavit. Itaque ubi Hercules locum investigavit. Vestigia taurorum latebras non indicaverum. Cacus, find the verb, tractavit, tractare, to drag or to pull. He dragged, aliquot, several, a number of bulls, in speluncam. Now, spelunca, first declension feminine, is a cave. In speluncam, it's an accusative here. Notice we had on the second line, in the last section, the first section actually, in spelunca, because that's place where ablative, he lived there. But here is accusative, in speluncam, because it's going into, its direction. He dragged them into, and whenever you're going into, that's going to be accusative. Alright, so Cacus pulled a number of bulls, some bulls, into the cave. Then we've got this word caudis. Cauda is your tail, sorry, and this is ablative, plural, by their tails. So he got them by their tails. By, from, or with is often an ablative, without need for any preposition, and that's the caudis, gives you all that information. So he dragged them by their tails into the cave. Itaque, and so, ubi Hercules. Now, ubi can mean where or when. I would say here when Hercules investigated the place, the site, was looking at it, was looking for it. Vestigia taurorum. The tracks, footsteps, the tracks of the bulls, non indicaverunt, did not indicate, did not show, latebras, the hideout, Cacus's hiding place. It's one of those nouns that is used in the plural. It's latebrae, feminine plural, in the nominative. It's always used in the plural. So latebras just means the tracks did not indicate Cacus's hideout. Okay, next bit, pause. Tum, in spelunca, unus e tauris clamavit, statim Hercules ad locum properavit, ira animum movebat, tum primum Cacus timebat. Right, tum, at that time, then, in spelunca, now this is an ablative because it's just where it's located, in the cave, unus e tauris, one of the bulls. That's how they say one of, the one out of, a followed by the ablative case, e tauris, clamavit, raised a cry, made a loud noise, whatever bulls do, statim, suddenly or immediately, Hercules properavit, he hastened, he rushed, ad locum, accusative, to the place, to the location. Ira, animum movebat, subject, ira, ire, anger, moved, spurred on, animum, his spirit. Alright. Tum primum, then, primum, adverb, then for the first time, Cacus was afraid. Alright, then for the first time, Cacus was afraid. Okay, well done if you're getting this, or if you're getting most of it. We'll now move on to our very last section, so as soon as it comes on, please pause and see if you can work it out. Alright, frustra fugam temptavit. So this is Cacus. This is continuing from the last sentence. Then for the first time, Cacus was afraid. Frustra fugam temptavit. Frustra in spelunca flammas aspirabat. Hercules multis taelis appugnat, tandem superat et necat. itaque tauros reportavit, et in colas periculo liberavit. Lovely. Frustra, adverb, in vain, to no effect. Something is, your efforts are frustrated, they've been in vain, they didn't work out. In vain did Cacus attempt temptare, flight, which is to say he tried to flee, he tried to escape. Fugger, first declension feminine, accusative, he attempted flight. Frustra, in vain. Spirabat, he breathed flames in the cave. Hercules, verb oppugnat. So what we're getting here, we're getting a present tense. Sometimes they do this, it's called vivid description, even though it's in the past. It's giving you, it's as if it's happening before our eyes. You can choose whether you translate in present or perfect. Hercules attacks Cacus, obviously, but it's not explicitly mentioned. Multis talis, this is an ablative phrase. The noun is tailum, neuter, second declension. Tailum is a weapon. Ablative plural talis, multis talis, with many weapons, by means of many weapons. This is instrumentality indicated with by the ablative case without the need for a preposition. Multis talis oppugnat. Hercules attacks him or attacked him with many weapons. Tandem at last superat, overcomes, overpowers, defeats, et necat, and kills. So all present tense verbs there for vivid description. Itaque, and so, and thus, et. Now we've got two ets, correlatives. These are both. So, itaque, et tauros reportavit. He both returned, brought back the bulls, and incolas, from incola, it's accusative, it's a first declension word meaning inhabitants. Liberavit, liberated, freed. He freed the inhabitants from what? From the periculum. Periculum, second declension neuter, is danger. From the danger, free from is an ablative. Periculo. Itaque, and so, et tauros reportavit. He both restored, returned the bulls, et incolas periculo liberavit, and he freed, liberated the people, the inhabitants, from the danger of Cacus, of course. So, there you go, that's a short story, Hercules and Cacus, intermediate level. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's been a useful exercise. Obviously, it depends where you are in your Latin learning. It might be still fairly challenging, it might be quite easy for you. Let me know how you get on, and certainly if you have any questions, if there's anything you're not sure about there. Obviously, when translating, as long as you have the basic sense and you've understood the meanings of the words, there are different ways of rendering things. So those are points that one can debate that I won't waste my time doing. But if there's anything in terms of you don't understand why something's an ablative or why a grammatical point, please do ask, and I'll do my best to explain to you. So there you go, guys. Please let me know if this kind of thing is useful. If it is, I'll keep coming back with some more. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That will really help me. Please give me a like. That will also help just to get this channel moving somewhat. I have done thus far mainly beginner material, but I do intend over time to do some more intermediate, more cultural material, and perhaps even a few advanced reading passages for those of you further on in your Latin learning journey. So that said, well, let's leave it there for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.